Hi guys, what can I say but welcome back to your training here, Microsoft Word, and we are doing the training for Heartbeat Christian Academy. It's part of our skills course in phase 1, and if you want to earn a certificate, you will need to meet the minimum requirements and do your test. The test is actually just to see that you are meeting the outcomes. So every chapter that we've been doing has a little section that is a self-test, and if you can do that, then you are actually ready to take the test or to do your assessment. Just my details, there's the banking details. If you want to support our ministry, you are always welcome, and then also my contact details if you want to contact us, or you maybe require a manual, to order a manual or to receive maybe digital copies of the manual, you can contact us at any time. There is today's lesson in the manual, and we are working with shapes. So this is actually, in my opinion, the fun stuff as far as Word is concerned. I love to work with shapes and with all sorts of stuff. It's nice. It's just the application can do so much. And with this overview course on Word, you are learning all these things that you can implement in your documents, and they are definitely going to make you more effective, make your documents look much more professional. So what will we learn today? And this is quite a long lesson actually in terms of the criteria that we have to meet, but I'm going to try and do it as effective as I can. We're going to be working with shapes, how to insert the shape, how to resize the shape, to change the order of the shapes. In other words, what's first and what's last. There's reasons that you would want to do that. And then also change the shape's appearance, change the shape's style. And if you look at your challenge at the end in the manual, this is what you need to be able to do for your assessment. So you need to be able to insert the shape. You need to be able to change the shape to a different shape. You need to be able to fill the color, to do an outline color, to use various shadow effects, and to also try and use a 3D effect. So this isn't difficult, but this is going to be fun, because now with the shapes you actually have a lot of different things you can do once you've mastered those shapes. And we're going to be running through the manual very closely today so that we don't go off track, because it's important for us to stick to the curriculum so that you are able to actually pass this course. If we don't stick to the curriculum, how are you going to pass the course? So let's go to our second display where we've got a Word document open. And by now I'm sure you know how to open a Word document. Just going to zoom it slightly bigger here for you so that you can actually see. If I can just get hold of it. There we go. And then we're going to work with shapes. Now the shape that you use doesn't matter exactly what shape you choose, but let's go to shapes, and obviously when you open your Word document, it's going to be on the home tab here. Now just think logically, and this is what I want to try and train you as far as Word is concerned, but as far as computers are concerned. Most of the time, not all the time, but most of the time, things should be logic. So it should be logic. So if you can think logically, then you can do what you're supposed to do. So you've seen in the manual, just looking at the manual, you've seen now you need to actually insert the shape. So you need to insert the shape. It says there, insert shape. Okay, so what does that mean in terms of what you need to do? You need to insert the shape, which means you have to go where on the ribbon? Yes, that's right. You need to go to insert, because that's what it says, insert the shape. Remember, we've been on the insert tab before. We worked with page breaks there, and we will still work with tables there. But today we're working with insert shapes, and the insert shapes is here under this illustration part on the ribbon. So there's quite a few things you can insert here. You can insert a screenshot, you can insert smart art, you can insert a chart, you can insert an online picture. In other words, go fetch a picture on the internet and insert it right here, or insert a normal picture. We will also be working a bit with pictures in a later session. But what are we interested today is we want to be able to insert a shape. So if you want to insert the shape, you can go right there, and then you've got a drop down menu that appears with a lot of different shapes. You've got like flowchart shapes there right at the bottom. You've got equation shapes. You've got block arrow shapes. So if your document requires certain arrows, you can use that. You've got basic shapes, which is shapes that are pretty basic and that people normally use, like hearts and faces and stuff like that. And then you've got your rectangular shapes. You've also got your lines, so you can use lines. And everything I'm going to show you now is applicable to all the shapes. So, and then you've also got upstairs here, right at the top there, you've got what is called the recently used shapes. Again, intuitive. If Word picks up you're using the same shapes all over again, then maybe you know, it will definitely put it there for you, which will make it much easier to get the shape. So let's start with a standard shape, which is a rectangle. And once you've selected it, you will see it's sort of armed, ready to shoot. You can see that little arrow there, and that means that whenever I now hold down my left mouse, I'm starting to draw the shape. Let me show you. There, I'm drawing the shape. I can draw it as I want to draw it. So say I've drawn it there, and I'm just going to do it quite big so that you can see the effects. There we go. Now we've got a shape. Now again, Word is intuitive. You can see already it's taken me to the formatting tab, specifically because the shape is selected. Now if I deselect the shape, it will go back to the home tag. If I reselect the shape again, it won't open the formatting tab, but it will show me a little highlight area there to indicate that it's actually suggesting that I go to that tab. So even if you forget where to go and you just select the shape, you can then go straight to the formatting tab. And once you've opened the formatting tab, you're exactly back where you were. And what you will see is a few options here, and I'll take you through these options as we go. But let's go first here, where you can click more. So this is preset styles to the block. So if I wanted to look at any of these and say, you know what, I like that one, I like this one, I like this one, you can actually preview them live at the background there, and then just select one that you like. So say, for instance, you say, okay, well, you know what, I really like that. There, you've selected that one. Now I can go and I can change the full color of the shape, and I can either again fill it with the standard colors. I can go to more fill colors here. I can fill it with a gradient, in other words, make it gradient fill. I can fill it with textures, different textures. I can even fill it with a picture if I wanted to put a picture there. Or under more colors, I can actually go and select my own color for the fill. So I think that's pretty awesome in terms of what you can do. I mean, the sky is really the limit, but that is the full color. And as you can remember, that is one of the things you need to be able to do in the manual. So if we look at the manual, you have to be able to insert the shape, which I said insert the shape. Then you drag the shape, you draw the shape. You obviously select the shape there and you draw the shape. Then you need to be able to resize the shape as well. Now the resize is once you've selected, I'm deselecting, now I'm selecting the shape again. On the sides you can actually drag it within perspective. So in other words, if you've done a proper rectangular shape, or you're working with a photo, you don't want the guy's face to start you know, just dragging across the screen. So you would use then the let me just go to this display too. You would then use these. So if I select the shape there, you would then use these ones to draw it in and out. Just change the size. You can also just change that side there, which is nice. So you can, if you wanted to, for instance, to make a shape to use in a heading, so you're going to use this specific shape as a heading, you would like a color in there, you select the shape again. As I said, formatted is armed there. You can say, you know what, I want this to look like a heading, so I'm going to make it slightly grayish. And then you say, okay, I don't like the fact that it's got an outline, so I want to change the outline color and I want to change it to no outline. I can also change the outline weight, so I can make the outline much thicker. If I wanted an outline on my shape, that's an outline. And then also, like I say, I don't want any outline for this because this is supposed to be now a heading. So a heading is not supposed to have an outline. That's what I'm using the shape for at this stage. Then also, like I said, I can change the size by using the side there, or using the corners there. And I can also rotate the shape. Any way I want to rotate it, I can rotate it. So if I wanted it to be a rotated shape, that is what I can use there. So let's just go back to the manual and see if we've covered everything. We've covered the fill of the shape, if you remember. So we've covered shape fill, we've covered shape outline. I know we still have to cover shape effects, so maybe we should do that now. Let's just fill it with a different color so that we can make it a bit darker. And remember what I said. I suggest that you actually play around with this. It's no use you watching this and not interacting. Learning increases as we increase with different faculties. So when you're watching something, it's a certain amount of learning. When you're listening to something, it increases. But when you're playing with your hand and the mouse, it's really going to make a huge difference to your learning ability. So if you really want to learn Word, you want to become proficient with all of these different disciplines that we're training you, then I really suggest that you actually have a computer, start it, open a document, put a shape in there and start playing around as we are playing around currently with it here. So we've covered the resize of the shape, and now we have to also look at the shape order. So let me show you that, and I don't want you to get lost, so I'm rather going to show you that so that we don't go crisscross. Okay, so let's talk about a shape order. There might be various reasons why you would want something to be in front of something else, but say for instance we go to insert again. Can you remember? We insert a shape and we are going to insert a circle of sorts. So let's select maybe an oval even. Okay, so we want an oval. Okay, that's an oval, and we want this oval to actually, now we're building here some logo of some sorts, but we want this oval now to go behind the one at the back. So we want to change the order of this, and the way to do it is to actually just select you can see there, once you've selected the shape and you right click on the shape, you get some options here which says bring to the front, bring forward, bring to the front, then it's send to the back. So you can send it straight to the back and bam, it's moved right to the back. So now this shape that used to be in the back is now in the front, and this one is in the back. You can also, if you wanted to change it back now, you can select this shape and you can say send this one back. So send to the back, and now it's put that shape in the back. I don't think that's too difficult to move the shape order. I think that's pretty easy to do. So let's look what else we have to do. As we're going through the manual, I want to prepare you properly. There is the segment that we spoke about, send to the front, send to the back, and then we're talking about the shape appearances. And here we're talking about changing the shape styles, where you can change the style. You can see right there on the manual how to do that. I don't think that's sort of too difficult to do. Under the formatting, you can change the style. There you can change the difference like I showed you. You can change the color, fill the color. You can change the outline of the shape which I showed you. And then you can also change the effects. Now on the effects side, I'm going to cross over to the screen and show you that again, because I want to make sure that you can do everything that you're supposed to do for your assessment. Yes, you want to be able to do that. So again, selecting the shape, going to formatting, you will see, remember we had fill here, fills the item. So that's the full color of the inside of the item. Outline is the outline color, so that means it's the color that's on the outline, and also you can increase the thickness of that outline. I mean, just look at that. That's sort of starting to actually look quite beautiful what I did there. I must congratulate myself on that. And then we've got the different kinds of effects. Now, effects, we've got shadows. So there's an outer shadow, and if you look carefully, you can see the outer shadow. It glows on the outside of the item. Then you've got an inner shadow. Now you won't see that easily here because I've used black. And then you've got perspective shadows that makes the item look almost like 3D, I would say. If you look at that, it almost looks like it's a 3D item, if you can see the perspective there at the bottom. Then we've got reflection. And that just means that it actually makes a reflection of the item just as an effect, and that's pretty cool as well to do. You must remember, these effects are pretty new in the latest versions of Windows Word and Microsoft Word. They've actually improved them through the years. I mean, we weren't able to do all these things. Glowing effects, so you're going to glow the item, and you can see that's also quite a nice effect for the shape that I've built there. It's actually quite a nice effect. You can build a glow, and you can build different color glows as well. And then you've got more glow colors, so you can actually go customize your color as you want to. You've got sort of soft edges, which is a soft edge, and it also almost looks like a transparency setting on the edge of the unit. So it's taking sort of the outer line or the outline of the shape, and it's actually moving it in by making it transparent, soft edges. And then we've got bevel, which bevel, you can see there what that means. And then we've got our 3D effects that we can use. Now obviously, I mean, a lot of this will not be used for business, but it could also be used for business. If you wanted to design something very custom, you could actually do that, and you could sit for hours and use all these shape effects. So we've got the full, first of all, we start by inserting the shape, which I showed you. You can insert any shape anywhere by just selecting the shape and drawing it. Then we've got our fill options, which fills the inside of the shape. We've got our outline options, which does the outline of the shape. We can also change the thickness of the line, like I showed you, and also the line type. I mean, this isn't part of the curriculum, but I'm just showing you this quickly again. If you play around with this, it will actually be nice, because you don't need to be scared to play around with it. And once you deselect the shape, it goes back to home. But if you select the shape, it's actually intuitively telling you there that there's some options under the formatting tab, and once you go to format, you've got all the different effects. You've got your styles here, which is preset styles. So you know, a lot of times you get one of these that you like, so you don't have to reinvent the wheel. And then you've also got your effects here, where you like to maybe use an existing style and add some effects. Like there, I've added a glow to that. And that's pretty much shapes. Let's just go back to the manual again. This one, I want to make sure that I'm covering everything. We did shadows, we did 3D effects. I showed you the 3D effect there. Yes, I showed you that. And then if you look at the challenge in this lesson 14, you can see that you will be challenged to create a new Word document, which you can do, and then insert the shape. Change the shape to a different shape, so you can actually change it to a different shape. Change the full color, change the outline color, try various shadow effects, and try the 3D effect. And if you can do that, then you're ready for your assessment. So that's actually, I would say, pretty easy. It's not difficult to do. I personally must say, I think most people will be able to do that. Yeah. So I'm happy that you can actually do those things that we've listed on the PowerPoint slide there for you. Obviously, if there's anything you're unsure about, you're most welcome to contact us. We're always available. You can send us a message and just say that you need information on something. It's not that difficult for me to get back to you via WhatsApp or via email. And then you can also go back to the manual. And as I've said in the past, play with this stuff. Play around. Make sure that you play with it. even if you want to really specialize in, like I use the term become a power user, but if you wanted to become a power user and you wanted to really know how Word works, I mean, we are teaching you the overview here, but this should just give you an appetite for more, so that you then go back and then go and specifically look at stuff that you want to learn in Word. So if, for instance, you really want to get very proficient with shapes, my suggestion would be to open a Word document and to start playing around with shapes. Then to go to YouTube and search videos that talk about shapes in Microsoft Office, in Word 2010 or Word 2016 or Word 2019 or whatever versions of Word you want to check it out. Look at various of the contributors, what they contribute, and then you will really get tips and tricks from all of them, and you will end up becoming an expert on shapes. It does take work, but if you are using these applications, Microsoft Word is called the desktop productivity software. So it's something that's used in production, in businesses, in ministries, in all sorts of walks of life. So it's something that you can really learn well, because you will use it anywhere. So anytime you invest in Word, in Excel, in PowerPoint, or in Outlook, even the mail client, is not time that you're wasting. It's time that you're spending well, because you are improving yourself and you're improving your own capacity to render really professional looking documents and to do more things. I've seen people in the IT industry, I've seen people do some crazy things in Word, designing proposals that you would think these proposals were actually designed by artists and by graphic designers, and they were actually designed in Word using exactly what I showed you now, using shapes, using a bit of artistic abilities or creativity, and coming up with ideas of how you could actually merge shapes together and use them to create very unique looking products in your desktop publishing works and everything you do. So there's a lot of scope here, and there's a lot of things that you can learn. And I believe here at Heartbeat Christian Academy, we are equipping you and we are training you, but more than that, I think we are making you hungry to learn more. And I hope that this course, as we are going through all these lessons, will not just be the course that you do and throw the manual under the bed, but the course that starts you off on your journey of learning, so that you actually become a power user in Microsoft Word. And that's what I think you need to get to that point where you are a power user. So that's been this lecture, and I hope it's been informative and that you've enjoyed it. We are almost getting to the end of the course, sadly, but we are working and we are working towards the end, and I'm happy that you're still here. In the next lesson, we will be looking at text boxes and word art, which will add nicely value, because you can actually use it with the shapes. So looking at lesson 15, text boxes and word art, and I will then see you in lesson 15. God bless.